Other than the sounds of gunfire over in Ciudad Juarez, few Texans outside of El Paso and perhaps other border towns took much notice of what was going on in Mexico. That would soon change. In Mexico City, an assassination attempt by Federale officers convinced Francisco Madero that Porfirio Diaz still had loyalists in Mexico. Madero learned his lesson and watched his step. Officials considered Emiliano Zapata and his proposals for radical land reform as a greater threat than Little Madero. On August 9th, the interim government dispatched General Victoriano Huerta and an army of federales to eliminate Zapata. Zapata escaped, but the government forces burned villages and scattered any organized resistance. Madero was stunned and urged calm. General Huerta, coming under criticism for his brutality, retired from public service. Zapata was unimpressed and instead plotted revenge while rebuilding his insurgent army. Once again, his Zapatistas attacked the Federales. On November 6, 1911, Madero officially became president of Mexico. He appointed many of his allies to his new government, but also retained the federal army to enforce his policies. His first move was to order all revolutionary forces disbanded. Those that refused would face the wrath of the reinstated General Huerta. Emiliano Zapata remained unimpressed and reignited the revolution in the south. Diaz loyalists rebelled in the north. Pascual Orozco's Federales tamped down outbreaks in both Nuevo Leon and Ciudad Juarez. President Madero seemed to have El Norte under control. Violence in southern Mexico continued to simmer. So did Zapata. The U.S. border remained secure. Refugees from the violence had begun to trickle into Texas, but in manageable numbers. U.S. President William Taft dispatched 12,000 troops to the Mexican frontier just to make sure. Military aircraft, an innovation at the time, clustered at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, adding to the military presence in the state. While Mexico smoldered, Texas grew. Drillers struck oil in Clay County up on the Red River and in Archer County as well. Burke Burnett near Wichita Falls followed soon after, as did Iowa Park, Ranger, and Desdemona. Coleman, Shackelford, Young, and Eastland counties joined the list of oil-producing regions in Texas. Oil and money sloshed across Texas. Some people that had been living as hardscrabble farmers found themselves suddenly wealthy. Oil and advances in irrigation convinced many to try their luck in West Texas. Brokers sold off pieces of many old landmark ranches in the region, and cattle operations gave way to cotton. There was another, more subtle change occurring in Texas. Internationally, people thought of Texans as, action heroes, full of daring and recklessness. When Irishman Bram Stoker wrote his path-breaking novel, Dracula, he cast a bowie knife-wielding Texan, Quincy Morris, as the man who ultimately slays the vampire. Of course, this fictional character and others existed alongside real-life legends. That same year, Alfonso Steele, the last veteran of the Battle of San Jacinto, died at age 94. The generation born in the days of the Republic of Texas were now in their 70s. New Texans were taking their place.